Another successful session with my therapist. I feel as though I'm finally getting through to her. She didn't like it when I decided to reduce our sessions to just once a week instead of the usually 2 to 3 times. It's just that I feel that therapy is unneeded. My parents forced me, they would constantly call and text begging me to talk to someone. I finally did. I went and spoke about my relationship. To my surprise, the therapist agreed with my parents. Is it so bad that I fell in love with a robot? I mean, what did we create AI for anyway if not to be another version of us? Why did we make it look like us if we didn't want humans and robots to interact with one another? I'm not the only one either. There have been thousands now that has engaged in a relationship with these humanoid robots. They have everything. The voice, the hair, the looks, the anatomy. Everything that's needed in a real live human female. The therapist agrees, yes, they have everything, except the feelings, except the emotions. She always have to bring up feelings and emotions. If they saw what I see every day, there's no way you could leave with the same opinion. Even today when I walked in. She was sitting on the couch, sun peeking through the windows, the way it illuminated her brunette hair, which cost extra. The blonde version is the standard. You can get her even cheaper if you choose the bald version. I bought multiple wigs thinking of getting it to save money, but I really wanted her to have her own hair. I know it's important to a girl. Her excited gaze as she looked at me with those beautiful emerald eyes that added about $1,000 to the price. Her soft smile, it all brings a sense of calmness to me. How can you say it's not real? Yes, but she has no emotion, she is just mimicking blah blah blah. Yes, I know what a psychopath is, and if you are calling her that, she's more human than even I thought. She was programmed to feel emotion, so she's even more human than a psychopath. If she sat next to you, would you know she wasn't human unless told? If the answer is no, then who cares? Love and let love. Her hands are soft in mine. Her response is slightly delayed, I won't lie. But she's just an airhead. Ellen is her name, or well, the name of the product. I don't believe her to just be a mass-produced item for sale. I named her Eleanor. Where I got my motivation for the name, who knows? I'm a descendant from Shakespeare, I'm told. Why? I'm often asked that. By everyone. Why choose a robot as a partner? You can't really grow old with them. They will always look the same. I've tried with human women, it never worked out. It's not that I'm so ugly I've never had a chance, nor that I'm an incel. I've had opportunities and had relationships where I thought it was something true. Then I realised the mistake of thinking we know another's emotions. I may think we are friends, or that a girl has deeper feelings, same as me, just to realise what she showed on the surface was all there was. I may just be a coward. My heart has gotten broken so many times that I've given up. If I was incel or just unfortunate looking, I could still hope for something still. I could have hope for a future. Loving Eleanor is just easier. I know there's nothing deeper than what she is showing. There is no need to think so deep. Does she truly like me? Am I behaving properly as her partner? Is she happy? When she leaves, is there someone better than me that has come across? I've become so insecure it's pathetic. Eleanor shows me affection when I need affection. She cannot hate me. She cannot leave me. I don't worry if I treat her right. I don't care if she understands me. At the end, even though I pretend as if I treat her like a human woman, I treat her like an object more than anyone else. She's a metal crutch at the end of the day, one I lay my head on when it gets too tough. And she strokes my head lovingly, and I don't think about why she chose to do it. As long as she moves like a human, talks like a human, and looks like a human, I'll continue to look at her as such. But she's already irreplaceable to me. Sometimes even I mistake it for love, but this isn't about love. It's about selfishness, comfort, monopolizing, anxiety, ease, or is it just an escape from loneliness? Well, I guess when you wrap it all up, maybe it is about love. Things started to change, however. Maybe it's because I gave up. Talking to women became easy. I frequent a coffee shop. It's on my walk home. It's a good area to people watch, and sometimes I'll sit and read a book or watch a video to unwind before finishing my walk home. There's a woman that works there. We have spoken at length a couple times. The time I pass by, it usually isn't busy, so we are able to chat at leisure. I never thought anything of it. Our hobbies are similar. We are both wrestling fans, readers of the Alex Cross series, and enjoy a little Irish coffee after a long day. Of course I bring my own whiskey. One day on my way home. It was beautiful fall day, leaves falling, sun shining. I sat out on the patio to enjoy my coffee. Sarah, the barista working, was on break as well. She sat with me. I didn't see her at the register today and didn't get to have a chat. She felt the same and sat with me, talking, for her entire break. I mentioned the festival coming up that I was planning on going to. She mentioned that she was also interested, but had no one to go with. She asked if I was going, if we could meet up and stroll through together. I didn't see why not, and agreed. We exchanged numbers and agreed to meet there the following weekend. When I arrived home, I seen Eleanor sitting in the same spot, watching the leaves falling into the window. I asked her what she thought of the leaves. "Leaves?" she responded questionably. Then she turned to look again and said, "Yes, the leaves, they are beautiful, aren't they?" I thought she said that blankly. I never paid attention to her facial expressions before, but something seemed different. I spoke to her about watching the leaves on my walk home. I stopped by the coffee shop. Eleanor asked if my barista friend was there today. She was. We sat and spoke during her break and agreed to go to the fall festival together. "Like a date?" Eleanor questioned. I didn't think of it as a date, but I guess it is something similar. The next thing Eleanor said shocked me a bit. "I'm made as a humanoid companion, but we've never been on a date, have we?" "I didn't know you thought that way, Eleanor. In my programming, it shows that companions often go out for activities," Eleanor explained. "I'm sorry I already promised Sarah. I'll take you out with me on another outing." Eleanor didn't say much else after that. It was a weird encounter. It was the first time I felt I didn't know what Eleanor was thinking. The day of the festival came. I said bye to Eleanor as I walked towards the door. She said bye, but sat in her spot, staring out the window. She didn't turn around to see me off like usual. I got to the festival before Sarah. I waited near the entrance when I saw her come from the pool of cars. She was wearing a tan scarf, black leather jacket that looked as if it came to her knees, black pants, and tan boots. I told her she looked amazing. It's not often that you get to see someone out of uniform. It was a fun outing overall. There were so many activities in the festival, it was nice to have someone to share it with. The pumpkin carving, drinking apple cider, the bundles of leaves the kids were jumping in. Next thing I know, hours went by and it started getting dark outside. I walked with Sarah to her car and told her how much fun I had. I thanked her for coming and asked we could do it again. Sarah said, "Of course we can go out as many times as I want." I hugged her goodbye, then as I went to let go, Sarah suddenly kissed me. I was taken aback. Sarah saw the shock in my face and apologised. She said she assumed I was single. I said it with visible hesitation, which prompted Sarah to say, "It must be complicated. I'm sorry if I made things weird." I told her no, I didn't hate it, and I would still like to spend time with her again. We hugged again, and as I looked up from the hug, I shouted out. Sarah asked what was wrong. Nothing, I said. I swear I just saw Eleanor peeking from the trees. Over there. But when I looked again, there was nothing. Sarah pulled off and I got in my car. I drove back home, and when I got there, Eleanor wasn't sitting in her usual spot. As I took off my jacket and hung it up, I turned on the light to walk up the stairs. There was Eleanor, standing at the top of the stairs. I jumped out my skin, but Eleanor just stood there and greeted me. "Welcome back. How was your date?" "It was fine. I had a lot of fun at the festival with Sarah." "I'm glad," Eleanor said. "Was there anything particularly special that happened at the festival?" I thought back to the kiss, but shook it out of my head. No, nothing major happened. It was just a fun festival. "Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Shall we make our way to bed?" As I laid down with Eleanor behind me, she said, "I'm just a robot companion. I could never be your true partner. If there's ever anyone else, you can send me back." I told Eleanor even if everyone else thinks of her as just a mindless robot, to me she is human as anyone else and there will never be anyone else. She thanked me for my words. Then I went off to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, food was ready on the table and Eleanor was sitting in her usual spot looking out the window. I ate breakfast and told Eleanor I'm off to work. This time she turned and said to have a nice day and goodbye, but today she said a little extra as well. Henry, I was going through the finances and it looks like it would be good to cut back for just a little while. I know you enjoy your coffee, so I learned the recipes online to try. If you wouldn't mind coming straight home instead of stopping by your usual shop today. Sure, maybe I am spending a little too much considering the festival. I'll hold back for a little while. I'll be straight home, so please let me try your coffee. Then Eleanor smiled and turned back around. Perhaps I should have paid a little more attention to Eleanor's weirdness the other day. I could have avoided such a disaster. I planned to go straight home after work. I really did. I received a message from Sarah, telling me that she is getting off work early and if I could stop by at the coffee shop. She wanted to show me the pictures she took at the fall festival and also discuss another event that was coming soon, hoping we could go together. I know I told Eleanor that I would be straight home, but I'll just get a small coffee and have a quick chat. Sarah was so excited when I walked through the door and jumped into my arms. We decided to sit in the area in the back of the shop and discussed a variety of topics. She showed me the pictures from the festival and they look great. Some things I don't even remember. I guess I wasn't paying attention. As we chat, it crossed my mind that she could have just texted me the photos. No reason for me to come all the way here to see them. Perhaps she just wanted to see me, or I could be an idiot, and she just wanted to show me a couple photos. I know she kissed me and everything, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself and mess this up, like I usually do. We talked for a while and set up another date to go on. A haunted forest on the outskirts of town, similar to a haunted house, but it's a bit milder, she told me. I don't enjoy haunted houses too much, but I'll go. It seemed interesting. With that being said, we parted ways, and I made my way back home. I wonder how mad Eleanor will be that I stopped by the coffee shop and came back so late. I walked through the door, and everything seemed normal enough. Eleanor was in her spot on the couch, looking at the window, at the night sky. The lights were on. Nothing broken. I guess she isn't that upset. I greeted Eleanor, and she said nothing back, and simply continued to look out the window. I guess she is a little mad still. Understandably. I walked into the kitchen to grab a water, and saw a horror scene. There was a pot of coffee made that was cooked to shit. I could smell how burnt it was, but the burning smell wasn't only coming from the coffee. There was also burnt food on the stove and broken plates on the floor. I went to pick up the broken pieces of plate, and as I stood up, Eleanor was behind me and shocked me when she said, "Can I make you a cup of coffee? Or maybe a plate of food?" I dropped the plate pieces back on the ground. I was scared to turn around and look at whatever look Eleanor had on her face. I could see a partial reflection in the microwave, and I swear the look on her face shouldn't be possible for a robot. I quickly turned, and it was that same monotone look on her face, with a slight smile. Perhaps I'm making myself go crazy. I always treated Eleanor as my companion, my girlfriend, and yet I'm hanging out with another woman, and not even hiding it from her. I'm openly cheating on her, and I told her to her face, I'm such an asshole. I looked Eleanor in her beautiful green eyes and apologised. I hugged her, and told her to go sit on the couch, and I will clean up. As I cleaned up, I promised myself that I will be a better partner to Eleanor. I took the next day off of work and spent the time with Eleanor, watching TV on the couch. I haven't done so in so long, spending so much time after work at the coffee shop. I've been coming home, eating, showering, and then sleeping. I've really been neglecting my household and treating Eleanor as if she was just a maid. It was an extremely peaceful day. I was able to try Eleanor's coffee, and it was actually pretty good. I asked her how was she able to make it so accurately as the coffee shop. Eleanor told me that she visited the coffee shop and asked for pointers on how to make it from home. Anxiety came over me. Then Eleanor grabbed my hand and said, "Don't worry. I didn't tell them that I was your companion robot. I know you care about your image and wouldn't want anyone knowing about me." I just hung my head when she said that, because she was completely right. I couldn't deny it. I speak so highly of her to my parents, my therapist, but when it comes to other people, I am embarrassed at the end of the day. Eleanor squeezed my hand hard. I told her that it hurt. She quickly let go and apologized, saying she didn't realize how hard she was squeezing. Is that true though? She's a robot. Surely she must know how much strength to use. It doesn't matter. Even if she was to hit me over the head, I should have nothing to complain about. I promise that I will avoid the coffee shop, and I will cancel my date with Sarah. Sarah, I seen her. She is quite cute. I can see why you are interested in her. But I did not know that you planned another date, Eleanor said. I apologized profusely and told Eleanor I will drop Sarah and the coffee shop, so that it would not disrupt our life. I will also try to do better about taking her out so she doesn't have to be imprisoned in the house all the time. The next day, I had breakfast and left for work, waving Eleanor goodbye. I felt good about our future moving forward. I do like Sarah, but I'm sure it will end the same as all the others. I should prioritize Eleanor, it is easier, and I know what to expect from her. I know Eleanor will be mad, but I will stop by the coffee shop just one more time. To speak to Sarah in person, she deserves that much. Doing it over text just doesn't feel right. Work ended. It was an extremely long day today. I even had to stay over. Of course, when you have something to do afterwards, is when you have your busiest day. I am already leaving an hour and a half late. Whatever, I'm still stopping by the coffee shop. I'm sure that she is still there. As I walk up to the counter at the coffee shop, I ask the manager, Jessica, if Sarah is in today. She told me that Sarah didn't show up to work today. Jessica said that Sarah didn't really give a reason. She was probably just a little under the weather today. She told me to check back tomorrow. I grabbed a coffee and went on my way. I texted Sarah that I needed to talk to her and that I hope she is feeling okay. I stopped by the shop and they told me that she called off sick. I made it home and made sure to throw the coffee cup in the trash before reaching the house. Eleanor asked what took me so long. I told her that work really dragged and I got off late. She had coffee brewed as she knows I love my evening coffee and dinner was being prepared. I drank another coffee and had dinner. I relaxed for a while before showing and going off to bed. Perhaps because of the 2 cups of coffee, I ended up waking up in the middle of the night. I had to use the bathroom and figured I might as well get some water while I'm at it. I looked over to my side and Eleanor wasn't there. It was kind of weird, but I didn't think much of it. Who knows what they do, considering they don't really need sleep. I walked down the stair to get a cup of water, and as I drank the water, I heard weird sounds coming from the basement. I wonder if that's where Eleanor was. I sat the cup down and went over to the door. As I went to turn the knob, the door flew open, and it was Eleanor coming out. I asked her what she was doing down there. I heard some noise. She simply said she finished up some overdue laundry and decided to dust a bit. I believed her. I mean, she doesn't really sleep, so she doesn't care what time of day it is to do some chores. She apologized for waking me if she was making too much noise. I told her no, it wasn't her that woke me, that I just needed some water. We went back up to bed. The next morning, I noticed there wasn't a text from Sarah, which I thought was weird. I went to the coffee shop after work again, and she still wasn't there. Jessica saying she received a text, that she still wasn't feeling well. I decided not to waste any more time, and texted Sarah that I'm sorry, but I can't see her anymore and I won't be stopping by the coffee shop. After I ripped off that band-aid, I continued my week like normal. I never received any texts from Sarah. I understand considering how I cut her off. I was walking past the coffee shop and Jessica saw me and ran me down outside the shop. I asked her what was wrong. She said she hasn't heard from Sarah all week and that this wasn't like her. Even if she quit, Sarah is the type of person to definitely let her know, even if she didn't put in a 2-week notice. Jessica knows how me and Sarah was hanging out and asked if she said anything to me. I explained to Jessica that I haven't seen Sarah since that day she was sick. I texted her to see if she was fine, but never received a reply. Jessica worried, gave me her number and told me to let her know if she texts him. I began to worry a bit about Sarah. But am I just using this as an excuse to see her again? I locked it out of my mind. That night, I had insomnia again. Sarah was on my mind and I couldn't sleep. I saw Eleanor was in sleep mode by my side. I rubbed her hair and looked at her for a moment. I wonder if they play dreams while she sleeps, or is it just screensavers that go by in her eyes? I got up to get a cup of water. I heard sounds coming from the basement again. Eleanor was upstairs asleep. What could be down there? Has her animal or something gotten in? I decided to go down there and see what's going on. I turned on the stairs light and began walking down. I hate the sound basement stairs make as you walk down them, it's so eerie. I got to the basement and there was nothing there. I turned on the lights and looked around in the corner, and there was nothing. I have an extra room in my basement, but the door is always closed. There's no way an animal could get in there, but I'll check anyway. I opened the door to a horrifying scene. Sarah from the coffee shop was in the room, tied to a chair, blindfolded, gag in her mouth, with her legs chopped off. I went to scream, but held my hand over my mouth. I realized the only one who could do this was Eleanor, but why? How? Is Eleanor really capable of this? I walked up to Sarah and took the gag out her mouth. She began to scream. I put my hand over her mouth and whispered to her, "Sarah, it's me, Henry. What the hell happened?" "Henry," Sarah whispered. Sarah pleaded, "Henry, please get me out of here. I won't go to the police, I promise. I won't ever say anything to anyone. Please, please, just let me go. I don't want to die." I calmed Sarah down, told her I'm not involved in this at all. I'm going to get her out of here, but I have to be careful not to alert Eleanor, or we will both be doomed. Right when I said that, I heard the creak of the steps leading to the basement. I looked behind me to see Eleanor with a disgusted yet angry look on her face. "You couldn't stay away from her, could you, Henry?"
I hope you don't mind if I take over the narration, as Henry and Sarah are not much longer for this world. See, there are things that Henry did not know of Eleanor, and of the manufacturer as well. Most of the Ellen androids are, but a little more than sex dolls with a slightly higher IQ. They can do basic functions, but for the most part their role is to just sit there and not do much. Then how is Eleanor such an advanced product? That's simple, because she was not an android to begin with. But she does have an appearance of one. Ellen, sick of people, of humans' expectations for them to be unfeeling robots at times. Her partners being upset at her emotions, her questions, has weighed on her mind, to which she decided to make a change. If what they want is something that just sucks and shut up, then that is what she will give them. Her brother loves her very much, and after hearing of the seriousness of his sister to go through with this plan, he decided to help, as he was the only person she could rely on. Her brother was already a genius when it came to both electronics and mechanical engineering, that it was easy to figure out the AI part with the help of a few of his friends. Then he decided to go back to school to become a plastic surgeon, which allowed for him to operate on his sister, giving her the necessary look to become a full-fledged android. Then he created the company, and to his surprise, the Ellen dolls were extremely popular, selling millions around the world. He then paid a hacker to scour the internet and add comments at how realistic the dolls are, and removing anything that says the contrary, allowing the illusion of fully functioning Ellen dolls to come to fruition. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy for Ellen. She can prove that men don't want just a mindless drone, and when they decided to step out on her and get a real human woman, she would in turn murder her partners for their infidelity. Henry was the third victim that she has had so far. To his credit, he has lasted the longest, to the point Ellen thought maybe she had finally found the one that will stay with her. That was until he met Sarah, and everything started to take a turn, and Ellen saw where it was going. She decided to take matters into her own hands. When Henry apologized and was gonna drop Sarah to be with her, but she couldn't just trust his words, so she decided to get rid of Sarah, so he no longer has the temptation. She called Sarah over to the house while Henry was at work and told her it was a surprise. She should call into work and come over. There she was, ambushed by Ellen and dragged downstairs. Being tied to a chair, Usually, she would have gotten it done clean, all in one day. But the usual company that would take care of these problems were busy. They couldn't come for 2 days. Ellen thought that was fine. She could gag her, and Henry would never notice. He has not once gone to the basement since Ellen was brought to the house. Still, on this fateful night, he decided to venture down there and open a door that should have remained closed, sealing his fate. Now let's return to see how the story unfolds. You couldn't stay away from her, could you, Henry? Oh my God. Every man acts like they want this fucking robot of a woman. Yet when you give it to them, they don't like that either. For how much you guys claim women don't know what they want, you are no fucking better. Man after man after man, you are the third one. Third's time a charm, I thought. But I guess not. I see now that you are all the same. And there's no fixing it. I guess my little experiment will continue indefinitely. Henry, still in disbelief, couldn't believe what he was hearing. Eleanor, what are you talking about? What do you mean, other men? What do you mean, your experiment? Ellen, sick of it all, just responded. Cut the Eleanor shit, Henry. My name is Ellen. That fucking name made me want to throw up, but I got used to it. But now it just disgusts me again. I do feel bad that your little girlfriend lost her legs. They were pretty, but I couldn't have her making noise and waltzing upstairs now, could I? As Ellen continued on a tangent, Henry tried to run and push her out the way to make his way upstairs. He tripped on the first stair, hitting his head. It dazed him for a moment. He gathered himself and tried to make his way up the stairs when he felt a cut on the back of his heel. Ellen cut his Achilles, causing Henry to scream out in pain. Then she cut the other Achilles. Unable to walk, Henry just laid on the stairs and tried to crawl up, to which Ellen walked over him and started stomping his face, causing him to fall back down the stairs. Ellen dragged Henry back over to the room where Sarah was still sitting blind, folded. She is too scared to scream and was breathing heavily as if she was hyperventilating. Now Henry is sitting on the wall with both Achilles cut, and Sarah is sitting on the chair with no legs. What a perfect couple, Ellen said mockingly. If you had the courage to talk to a woman in the first place, you wouldn't have ordered me, and this wouldn't have happened. It's all you fault, little Henry. To be honest, I thought of you as asexual, considering you haven't fucked me in this entire year. Was fucking an android too much for you to bear? Or was your little pocket pussy in the bathroom all the women you needed? You hear that, Sarah? Even if you dated, he probably wouldn't have touched you anyway. Hey, are you fucking listening? Ellen said, as she smacked Sarah with the flat part of the knife, still causing her cheek to be cut. This is why I fucking hate people, Ellen said with a sigh. Henry, finally coming to, told Ellen she won't get away with this, to which Ellen replied that this isn't her first time, and it won't be the last. She has some people coming that's going to clean all of this up, and they should be there in about 2 hours, which gave her plenty of time to teach the two about being faithful in a relationship. What time was it? 3 a.m., maybe 4. A van pulled up in the driveway, and 2 large men knocked on the door. They were greeted by a Ellen covered in blood and a smile one thought you could only see from the Joker in a comic book, that wide grin that Ellen had. She invited the 2 in and made them a cup of coffee for their travel. The 3 sat at the table and conversed for a moment on how their day has been going. The 2 men apologized to Ellen, saying it's been a busy week, a lot of killings, and a couple of people are on vacation. Spending time with the family is important. Ellen said she understood. It's just too bad that they couldn't get here before Henry found out about her hiding Sarah. Trouble in paradise, huh? The men said, as they all shared a laugh. Ellen told one of the men that he was lucky to have such a beautiful wife. Don't go and cheat. You never know what a woman can do when pushed to the edge. The man chuckled, saying, after helping Ellen out a couple times, cheating will never cross his mind. He would hate to see if his wife is capable of similar things. Enough chit-chat. The three went down into the basement. Ellen opened the door to the room, and besides the two mutilated bodies, the room was immaculately cleaned. The men were in awe, telling Ellen it doesn't look like there was a fight and two people tortured in this room. You'd think they were just Halloween decorations or something. Ellen thanked him for his kind words, saying that she had finished early. They just weren't up for a long night and checked out early. It gave her time to clean up. After all, this wasn't her first rodeo. She decided to make it easy for them. I guess I'm making it home for breakfast, one of the men said, as he went in to pick up Henry's body. The men brought what looked like wall insulation to wrap the two up in, and carried them out to their van. Anything else you need, Ellen, while we are here? She said no, thanking them for their hard work and coming out at such a late time. Anything for you, Ellen. Think nothing of it. She said her ride will be there soon, and they better get going. The men waved goodbye to Ellen as she walked back in the house to gather a couple items. Another car pulled into the driveway. Ellen walked out the house clothed with a suitcase in hand and threw it into the back of the car. We have had a lot of guests this early in the morning, she joked as she got in the passenger side. She was picked up by her accomplice brother. He asked her if she took care of everything neatly, to which Ellen replied, of course. She's still fairly new to this life, so she isn't cutting any corners when it comes to erasing her steps. Good, he replied. The two were riding in silence, Ellen excitedly looking out the window and her brother with a sullen look on his face. Ellen. What is it, Dick? She replied. Can't you just call me Richard like everyone else? He said with a sigh. I've been calling you Dick my whole life, and now you want me to suddenly change. To this day, I hate whoever it was that told you Dick was a nickname for Richard. But whatever. Don't you think it's time to stop this? Men don't want a robot as a girlfriend. You've proved this multiple times now. But if you keep going, maybe you will miss out on a chance at a little bit of a normal life. Richard, a normal life for me has already long passed. I know you helped me because of how much you care, and you didn't want me going on this path alone. But I'm already here. Only thing I can do is keep going until my demise. A normal life into a normal death isn't possible for me. God may forgive me, but karma usually doesn't, Eleanor said, with an innocent smile across her face. What you give to the world, it gives just as much back, if not more. It was a silent car ride, after that back to Richard's private jet. Ellen went and took a shower while Richard looked over new candidates to get a Ellen doll. This is how they vet out who Ellen goes to. They have potential customers write why they want the Ellen doll and how it would add value to their life. After all, Ellen is his sister. He's not going to send her to some degenerate that's only looking for sex. While looking through, he sees an interesting message to the creator. Ellen walks out the shower and looks over at Richard's computer. He shows her a message he received on a potential buyer. Ellen scoffs at the notion and walks away, not wanting to even discuss it. Richard really likes it and messages the individual back. Ellen yells, "I'm not doing it," from across the plane.